Way before we got the major 2.0 update in Animal Crossing New Horizons, which introduced so much to the game, dataminers would give us a good picture of the future updates that we could expect. Even as far back as April 2020, dataminers let us know about things like the cafe, which we wouldn't see for quite some time. And of course, we speculated about all these future additions, what they could look like in the actual game, and most of them did actually finally come to Animal Crossing New Horizons, which showed that the dataminers were incredibly reliable and that the information that they had for us was true. In fact, nearly everything that was data mined eventually came to Animal Crossing New Horizons, which was really exciting. However, looking back at a tweet from prominent Animal Crossing data miner Ninja, there were two particular updates which I never saw added in the 2.0 update. This was particularly strange as, like I mentioned, basically everything else that Ninja Datamine did come to the game, and since then we've definitely speculated about these two particular additions in videos, whether they could have just been left out of the game or something else, but I think I might finally have an answer. In one of these tweets from Ninja, they mentioned that they potentially found two standalone buildings, the museum shop and the museum cafe. Now, of course, we did get the museum cafe, we didn't get the museum shop, but more about that soon, and they also mentioned the museum cafe incorporates a Gyroid section. Now, we speculated about this for a long time. Even after the 2.0 update came out, I spoke about it in my Unreleased Updates video. After all, these seem like two pretty significant additions which we can't really see anywhere, or can we? Talking about the latter Gyroid section, it does seem like we did get this, just not in the way that people really expected. Now, I think a lot of us expected that there would be some kind of section within the cafe to display gyroids like you could in other places in the museum, which definitely would have been a really cool concept. Gyroids have been a part of the series for a really long time, yet you could never really display them anywhere else other than your home. This also made a lot of sense because, as I'm sure you know, Brewster absolutely loves gyroids. In fact, he even gives you his own one in Animal Crossing New Horizons, so I think people definitely made this connection, and honestly, it made a lot of sense. A gyroid section does sound pretty significant. However, ultimately, and rather sadly, it does seem like the gyroid section is just a little section behind Brewster, the little tiny room where you can see a bunch of special gyroids displayed. Although this special distinction would be a little bit odd just for some gyroids in the sort of stock room of the Roost, it would make a lot of sense, and I do believe this is most likely what it is. Although, maybe it is possible that originally there was a more fully fleshed gyroid section in the cafe. After all, if you look at the shape of the cafe, you'll probably notice the giant box in the middle, which is definitely really odd, and the whole layout of this place confused people for quite a while. It definitely did seem like an odd design choice to have this much space empty, so who knows, maybe at some point there would have actually been gyroids displayed here in a more prominent capacity. But in the version that we got at least, we can definitely see that most likely they are just the ones displayed behind Brewster. I just wanted to quickly say that this video is sponsored by Disney Emoji Blitz. I'm currently hosting a giveaway for a $25 Nintendo Switch eShop card. To enter, all you have to do is download the game using my link in the description, get to level 20, screenshot this and send it to me on Instagram at Crossing Channel. You have until July 10th to enter, good luck to everyone. Of course, in this tweet, a museum shop was also mentioned as a standalone building, and this is definitely something pretty significant that we did not get in Animal Crossing 2.0. But once again, we kind of did, just not in the way that is presented here. In the end, we did get a museum shop, but it comes in the form of Blathers selling you the posters. I think most people assumed that this museum shop would be like the one that Celeste ran back in Animal Crossing New Leaf, which would have been incredibly cool and would have been such a great idea, and I can definitely see why most people thought this. It makes even more sense when you consider that there is still an empty space on the right side of the museum where another door could go to make things symmetrical with the addition of the Roost. But again, at least in the 2.0 version that we got, it seems pretty conclusive that this is the museum shop that Blathers runs. Complex code can be misinterpreted all the time, so it's possible that this was misinterpreted as a standalone building, or like I said, maybe at some point it was genuinely its own standalone shop, but for some reason the plans changed. Unfortunately, we will never know what Nintendo originally planned with this, or maybe it is exactly how they planned since the very start. All we know is what we have right now in Animal Crossing New Horizons. I definitely think in a future game there is a huge amount of potential for a fully fledged museum shop once again where you could do a lot of really cool things for it, and once again we could see Celeste in her own role back in the museum. Just like I think there is potential for gyroids to have a proper place in the museum for you to collect and donate them, which would give players more to do every single day, rather than collecting them for display purposes only. But let me know in the comment section down below, would you have liked to seen a fully fledged Gyroid display somewhere in the museum? Would you have liked to seen a museum shop ran by Celeste just like in Animal Crossing New Leaf? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video then be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on channel notifications for more videos. If you made it to the end then be sure to comment Bob's Gang down below so I know that you did. I want to say thank you to these channel members for supporting me and the content that I make here. Their contributions allow me to keep making videos. If you want to support these videos and get some great perks for doing so, like access to our members only Discord, exclusive Bob emojis and live streams and much more, then click the join button down below the video or the link in the description.